What is up, guys? Welcome back to the ANS podcast. I'm Alec, your host. You can find me on Twitter right there at AlecMiller0423. And I'm joined, as always, by the real Jesus. That's spelled Jeezus. What's going on, Jesus? How you doing?
There's many fakers out there, man, but this is the real Jesus right here. And that's spelled Jeezus. Not any other way, not any other religious one, just the real Jesus right here.
You know what's funny? Because when I use my AirPods at work and you text me, it says Jesus. So it says Jesus said.
That's so funny, dude. That's so funny. But yeah, man, we're here, man. We're excited. It's been like 9 days or something like that. So we're excited.
It's been a bit. We got a lot to talk about. Couple of UFC events. We have a couple Dana White Contender Series things that happen. For those who don't know, we missed last week because Hurricane. Why am I blanking on Laura? Was on her way, but totally missed us. We got lucky. So
we got lucky. Yeah, it was it wasn't a false alarm for the people, and yeah, for us it was. But nonetheless, we were still out there boarding up windows and doing what we had to do to get prepared just in case, because we lived here long enough that we know that it might miss us or it might hit us, so might as well be prepared. And that's what happened last week.
So yeah, like here's my story with hurricanes. Is the last one I remember was Rita. Muay Thai. We got Muay Thai 2-3 in the chat. It says we need a mod in here to keep all the comments in check. Hey man, when we get more listeners, we will definitely do that, brother. But if you're auditioning,
man, it was funny because I was thinking about Muay Thai the other day. I was like, man, does he have us on notifications? And it looks like he does, man. So thank you for keeping the chat live, Muay Thai.
For real, man. Thank you. Really appreciate it. But yeah, so the first one I remember was Hurricane Rita. We dipped. We left. We went an hour outside of town to Richmond, Texas. Stuck in traffic. That hour drive took about 5 hours maybe, and nothing happened. It was kind of like the same thing. It kind of missed. So then when Ike hit, nobody left.
No, we all stayed, and that one hit.
And that's the one that destroyed everything. Like we had at my apartments, we had trees knocked over. Trees to the point where the roots picked up the sidewalk the sidewalk and stuff. And then, obviously Harvey was the biggest one probably, and the kind of unprecedented one because it literally went out. It went inside, it made land, and then it just kind of circled back and stayed over us for like a week or so.
It was about and the strongest one was for 2 days. I remember it was a Saturday, and we're like, man, if we wake up tomorrow and we ain't got water, we're good. But that Saturday was rough. But yeah, man, I left in Rita too. We went to San Antonio. It took us 23 hours to get there. That's how crazy the highways were getting out of town. Again, like you, we stayed for Ike, and that's the one that hit us. Luckily for us, the house. I had my in-laws over at the house, and we were fine, man. Nothing happened. We just lost power for 2 days, I think it was. But I had a generator, so we were good in the end. But yeah, man, we know about hurricanes here in Houston, unfortunately, man. And luckily this one missed us. Unfortunately for people in Louisiana, it didn't. So there's always a positive and a negative, the yin and the yang. But we're okay, and we're still not out of hurricane season. So
no, we're not, because don't forget behind. I think Marcos was actually behind Laura, and then somehow it got in front of her. But
that was crazy.
So yeah, we're not out of the woods yet, but our prayers out to anyone that was affected by the hurricane. If you were affected and you need anything or you just need to talk, guys, hit us up. We're always available to talk and help out in any way that we possibly can. But let's go ahead and talk about the big news before we get into what are you watching. Just because I really want to touch on it. We lost the king this weekend. We lost the great Chadwick Boseman. As I was saying to you before the podcast started, I've only ever really been hit hard by two celebrity deaths, and Chadwick Boseman was one of them. The first one being Robin Williams. My childhood, I was a big fan of Aladdin, Jack, and all those things. But so that one hit me hard, and then this one, it was just shock. And I'm not going to say anything new here. Didn't know what he was dealing with. Nobody knew what he was dealing with. Apparently, only people close to him, not Ryan Coogler even came out and said that he didn't even realize while they were filming. Was dealing with colon cancer for 4 years. and still was able to get up, when he had to, and get up every day and bring us three amazing movies that he took part in. And it's just sad, man. It's really upsetting to see what happened, to hear what happened. I was watching the Schmodown and live, and all of a sudden I get a message saying, "Hey, man, like, what the hell? Chadwick Boseman's gone." And I was like, "Oh no!" Like, this is one that I just, and I guess it kind of piled on with the passing of my friend, and just I was just tired. It's just like, I'm tired of it. It sucks. 2020 is the worst.
Dude, this is the worst year by far, man.
But another thing I want to touch on, guys, is the picture and the video that came out with Chadwick Boseman and how he looked skinny this past year. And there were so many memes, so many jokes. I'm so glad I wasn't one of them. I think I might have missed the memes and the jokes. I didn't even see the video or the picture. So luckily I didn't see it, and I didn't, put my foot in my mouth. But guys, if I think this might be unrealistic for me to say, but we have to think before we speak. And before you go and you want to comment on how somebody looks or how somebody you think somebody is going through, you don't know the full story. So you need to probably just take a step back and think before you speak, because a lot of people were joking about how he was on crack or whatever. Some people thought he was preparing for another role, and it turns out dude was dealing with stage 4 colon cancer. And colon cancer is no joke. Colon cancer is one of those things that it ravages the body when it gets you. So just maybe learn from this, take a step back to take a step back and try to understand, or don't even try to understand, just try to not comment on other people's situations when you don't know the full story.
Yeah, try to be better, man. I saw those pictures and those memes when it came out. I don't know, man. I guess for me, I've never thought to think of that stuff whenever I see like actors and stuff. Like I grew up on Christian Bale going from The Machinist to Bruce Wayne, and he went from like 140 something pounds to 205 pounds of muscle. So I just thought it was something that he was looking for a role. And I saw him on the movie The Five Bloods, the Spike Lee movie, and they show him in without a shirt, and he looked cut and strong, So I was like, okay, it was just probably for a movie or something, So I didn't think much of it, man. But you're right, man. All the stuff that people do for clicks and likes, man. Like, I don't know. I don't think that there's any limitation to that stuff, just because you can say it, man. And me and you, we're I guess we're decent people in that sense, where we try to do the right thing. But there's just so many trolls out there, man, and so many different thought processes and anonymity on the web, man. If nobody can come after you, they're gonna go ahead and post it because they have no repercussions and no consequences. But at the same time, we can always ask for, just like you did, for being better than what we are, And but yeah, man, this guy, he did so many movies. I think the statement from his family was powerful, and they said, he had countless surgeries and what is it called? The chemotherapy, all while delivering these performances for you, for the fans, for the people, for everyone, and in his short career, which it was short, man, it was cut way too short. He had some great performances, man. And he had a huge cultural impact as the Black Panther,
Absolutely.
And the Black Panther, man, I think, I don't know. I just think that's a big role. He'll always be the Black Panther. I don't think you can recast it. I don't think you should recast it. There's plenty other characters.
Sure.
There's plenty other characters that can come in and fill that void. But yeah, man, it's just a huge loss, man. And it sucks. He was so young, 43 years old, had a family. And there's not a lot more I can say that hasn't been said more eloquently by somebody else, somebody closer to him or somebody more in the know. But just as far as for me, it did hit me hard, hit my family hard. My son and my daughter are big Black Panther fans. That's one of their favorite movies, and we all watched it that night. We all watched Black Panther that night again, and just saw how powerful he was in that movie. So it's a big deal, man. It sucks. 2020 sucks. Can't wait for this damn year to be over.
Yeah, man, me too. Me too, man. Also, just one more thing to say. If you were one of those people that said something that you're not particularly proud of, doesn't mean you're a bad person. It means you made a mistake. Learn from it. learn from this mistake and just be better, man. No one's calling you a bad person. You made a mistake. No one. We all make mistakes, especially when we don't know the full story of things, man. Like I do it all the time. Just take it and learn. That's all I can say, man. But
yep. Agreed.
Yeah, rest in peace to King T'Challa, Jackie Robinson, Thurgood Marshall, James Brown, all the great roles that he played. Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. We're gonna miss you. We lost a good one.
Yep.
But let's go ahead. It's no easy way to transition, but we're gonna go ahead into what are you watching? I believe I went first last week, brother. So you go ahead and go first. One TV show, one movie. What are you watching?
TV show. I'm still on. What is that one called? Lovecraft Country. It's getting better.
Started it. I mean, yeah, we watched first 2 episodes.
Oh man, it's getting better. It's getting better. I don't know. Like I told you, man, I feel like HBO cheats somehow. Every Sunday night they got some good shows. I keep saying I'm gonna cut it off because there's nothing, and then they come out with something. Obviously, that's their model. You know, that's what they do. So it's really good, man. It's really good. I really like the acting in it. I really like the way the story's going. I love all of it. I love all the extra stuff in it. I also like how they're mixing, you know, stuff that's being talked about right now, you know, with the, you know, and that's another thing that maybe we do need to talk about, man, which was the shooting of Joseph Blake last week, you know, and it's very interesting because that happened. And I had a conversation with my kids about, because there were some rumors going around that Kenosha is a sundown town or some neighborhoods around it are sundown towns. And they were like, what does that mean? And so I explained to them what it means. And as you've seen the show, right, it comes out in the show, and he explains it in the show as well. And so they're tackling, you know, real life issues in there, and also entertaining us at the same time. Maybe this will help future generations. Maybe it'll help us have that conversation as a society. You know, that I mean, Black people in the United States deal with a lot, man. You know. And you know what, with that, there's a poignant video out there that you know, a lady that's upset and after the George Floyd murder says, you know, we're lucky, and by we I mean culture, society, the U.S. as a whole, that, you know, Black people are coming back and want equality. They're not coming back for vengeance, man. And Doc Rivers said it the same thing too. You know, you know, African American people keep loving this country, and it feels like this country doesn't love them back, you know, and that's in the show, man. That's in the show. That's in the 50s and 60s of what's going on in America as far as segregation in the South, and it's crazy, man. It's crazy to think about stuff like that, man. You know, but it's a great show. You know, I know I kind of mixed what we're watching with what's going on in the real world right now, but I think everything's mixing right now, man. Everything's mixing together.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. So I'm gonna touch on the show first. I do love the show. As soon as I read up in that it was like a horror series, I'm like, yeah, I'm in. Let's do it. And then, you know, the first episode pulls you in with the crazy Lovecraft monsters. I was like, I'm in. Let's keep going. Watch episode 2. Episode 2 is weird. It was out there, but I'm still digging it. Obviously, there's a story, and the thing is, HBO doesn't do things lightly. Like if it's showing you something, it's for a reason. So. I'm excited. We haven't watched episode 3 yet. I'm excited to watch episode 3, but yeah, man. And then touching on the racial aspects that it talks about, dude. Like I'm watching it and I'm disgusted. You know, I'm sick to my stomach that people had to go through that. Like the scene, and these are gonna be spoilers, guys. Minor spoilers, not big spoilers. Minor spoilers. The scene where they go to the diner, and you're just like. You're not thinking anything of it. You're just like, oh, that guy's probably just being an asshole. Like he's scared. I wouldn't even like necessarily say that the guy was racist. I was just like, he's scared because there's this cultural stigma behind Black people at the time, and he had to follow it, and he did what he had to do. But damn, dude, like the fact that the firefighters of the city, the firefighters of the town, were gonna go and basically murder those people, murder them, and like it's sick. And they weren't doing it in like racism now is mostly private, mostly behind closed doors. You know, that's where majority of racism happens. not in the 50s, dude. Like it was just straight out. They were shooting them. They were shooting at them on the middle of the damn main street, and it made me sick to my stomach.
Well,
But you know, I mean, we have come a long way. Not far enough. Not far enough.
Obviously, not far enough that we're seeing, you know, this stuff happen. That we're only getting to see this stuff happen because people have video and are recording and whatnot. You know, one of the scenes that stuck out to me, man, that got me angry, got my blood boiling inside, because it just sucks is whenever they're in the woods and the officer tells him, tell me pretty please, N-word, you know, or yeah, you know, this N-word, you know, is a smart N-word, and pretty please let me do a U-turn or something like that. That got me so mad, man. That got me so mad.
Yeah, and then before that, he was like you're gonna have to turn around.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're gonna have to turn around. Like, you're gonna have to go back that way. That's the only way to get out of here. And he had to ask.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He had to ask, because he was like, hold on, this dude is probably just telling us to turn around because that's a violation, and they're gonna pull me over and he's gonna murder me.
Yep.
But dude, like that was insane. And
oh, dude, you know, it got me upset. You know, it got me upset, and it made me think. You know, and I think that's a good thing that this show does. That's a great thing to do. It makes you think, like, how many of those conversations have happened, you know, in the United States in that time frame. You know what I mean? Like, and what we're at now, like, I'm sure that those conversations are still happening, but you know, I would hope that it's not as much, obviously. But they're still out there, man. They're still out there. We just don't see them. We don't know, or they're not recorded at this point, you know. So it's just crazy, man. But again, it's a great show, man. That's why I like that show, because it makes you think. It has different things on there, and then also, like you mentioned, the Lovecraft monsters, you know, are pretty gnarly too, you know.
Sick, dude. Yeah, it was sick. I was surprised by the gore. I mean, I know, you know, HBO has no problem doing gore, but they went all out, and I loved it. It was fantastic. But
well, dude, the opening scene was dope, man. That first scene, you know, was pretty dope.
Yeah, man, that was cool. I was like, oh, this is sick. I'm digging it. For the Jacob Blake stuff, we will touch on. I actually want to touch on that at the very end of the show, and both of us say some words about it. So we're not just glossing over it. We are going to be talking about that at the very end, and kind of just close the show out on that, because I think sometimes it's good to close out on an important message. So me, the TV show I've been watching. You actually took one of mine. Yeah, you actually took mine, and I was gonna wait for this one. But thank you for that, because then I get to mention this one. I've been watching Cobra Kai.
Oh yeah, man. That's on my next to watch list, man.
Dude, it's so good. It isn't. I'm on season 2. I'm like, I sped through season 1 over the weekend, so I'm slowing down. I'm trying not to speed through season 2. Because I'm not sure when season 3 is coming, but dude, this show is fantastic. It's so good, man. It's just like everything that you love about Karate Kid, but in the normal world. So you get to see the other side. You even get to hear Johnny's story of how he saw what happened in the Karate Kid. And now you're like, maybe the only bad person in the entire movie was John Kreese, because Johnny was just looking at it. He's a teenager. All he saw was. He had an argument with his girl, and this kid from out of town comes in and just does this. He mentions the time that at the prom, or was it prom? The Halloween party. At the Halloween party, of what happened, because remember, like, you know, they jumped him, but I guess I forgot, but why am I blinking on his damn name? LaRusso. LaRusso actually threw the first punch.
Yeah, he did.
So it makes you look at things, dude. But then it also makes you look at the fact that Johnny and you even see LaRusso when they interact. There's more to Johnny than meets the eye, man. Like, there's things you don't know about him, and it's just so interesting. It's such an interesting case study. Like, it's such an interesting character study into who you thought was a villain, and how just learning about them can change your whole perspective on what happened. And the kids are fantastic too. You have a kid that first meets Johnny and is kind of the one that inspires Johnny to open up Cobra Kai. You have LaRusso's daughter, a couple other kids that come in, and it's fantastic, man. I definitely recommend it. It's a quick watch too, man. Like it's 10 episodes. Each one's probably about like 30 minutes, maybe less, and that last one's about 40 minutes. Definitely check it out. If you love the first movie, you'll love this.
Yeah, we definitely have that to watch as a family, that we're trying to watch more things as a family. But I was gonna ask, man, because this, if I remember correctly, this show was on YouTube, right? It was like a YouTube original or something like that.
It was the very first YouTube Red series, I believe.
Yeah.
And it's kind of what kind of got them subscribers. Thing is, it wasn't enough to keep subscribers because YouTube Red was so damn expensive. Not without reason. You got way more than just original programming from YouTube Red. You had the ability to basically listen to YouTube without, you can close out and do whatever you want while YouTube videos are playing. That's mostly why I had it. You had that. You had no ads, blah, 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 all that other stuff. But yeah, I guess they couldn't handle it anymore. So Netflix bought the rights.
Okay.
And that's why it's on Netflix now. And Netflix, I'm assuming, is going to be continuing it.
Pretty interesting, man. Pretty interesting. I'm definitely, my family's excited about watching it. So we're definitely going to be watching it here in the next week or so.
Definitely, man. All right. So just a quick movie. I watched Palm Springs. Palm Springs is a good movie. It's not great by any means. You mostly watch it for the performances, and I think the best performance is Kristen Milioti. For those who don't know, she's the mother from How I Met Your Mother. And this one, she was given the ability to shine, man. She was the main one that I pulled out of. Like, my girl was like, "You didn't care about Andy Samberg?" Because I was like, "She's gonna be a star." That's the first thing I said after the movie was over. She's gonna be a star. My girl was like, "What about Andy Samberg?" I was like, "Andy Samberg's already a star."
Yeah, he's already known and stuff. But yeah, she also comes out in this. I don't know how watched it is, but it's actually a pretty good show that's based on a New York Times column called Modern Love on Amazon Prime. And she comes out. It's like an anthology show about modern love and different stories within that. And she comes out, I think, in 2 episodes, and she's really good in both episodes. There's also an episode with what's that girl's name from Ocean's 13?
Ocean's 13? Oh, you mean Ocean's 8?
Ocean's 8, my bad. Ocean's 8. Hathaway. There's the one with Anne Hathaway where she's bipolar and kind of trying to find love in the modern world. So, I mean, it's a pretty good series with some high level actors in it, including her. So that's another one you might want to check out, man. She does a fantastic job in both of her episodes.
Awesome, man. Do you have a movie you want to talk about real quick?
I haven't really seen too many movies this past week, man. I've just been watching that Lovecraft. I've been watching the Hard Knocks. Hard Knocks is really good, man. This last week, which was yesterday's episode, tackled the Joseph Blake stuff. Is it Joseph or Jacob? I got to make sure.
It's Jacob Blake.
Jacob Blake, yeah. So the Jacob Blake stuff, and it was also poignant and interesting, and we got behind the scenes stuff with that, which was very interesting as well. So I think those are both good shows on HBO. I mean, I'm trying to remember any movies I've seen, man. Last week, what movie did I see? I don't know, man. I'll get back to you maybe if we have time.
All right, no problem, man. We got a lot to get into. Guys, real quick, I'm gonna drop a little tease. I'm working on getting Ace back on here on the podcast.
Nice.
Those who don't know, Andres Ace Cabrera from of the movie Trivia Schmodown, of the First Cut and the Meaning of Podcast. I'm actually contacting him right now, trying to get him on for the episode to talk about Adesanya versus Costa. So maybe work on him, maybe getting. I'm maybe get Ace to come on for like pay-per-view events. So I'm working on it, guys. I hope y'all get excited. Tweet him, guys, if y'all want to. Tweet him. It's at Squad Leader Ace on Twitter. Tweet him and let him know hey, you want him to come on. But I'm trying to work on that right now. But yeah, man, let's jump into it. So before we get into, I believe it is Munoz versus Edgar, I want to talk about the Dana White Contender Series that happened. It was August 25th, right?
What week?
Munoz versus Edgar happened first. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Munoz versus Edgar started first. I watched the entire card. Did you watch the entire card, my friend?
I believe I did, but it's been a while. It was August 22nd. So we're talking about 9 days ago? Yeah, like 9 days ago. Mm-hmm. But I watched pretty much the whole fight.
Yeah. the card was fantastic. I don't think there was really a bad fight on the card, if I'm remembering correctly. Everything kind of was fast paced. I'm looking at it right now. So like, yeah, Valiev versus Trevin Jones. Dude, I just want to talk about Trevin Jones went from almost getting knocked out to winning that fight. Good on him. That all that did was just get more eyes on you, brother. Dana White's going to be paying more attention to you.
Well, that happened twice. That happened twice too, because it happened in the main event too.
Yes,
not the main event.
No, the one before.
The main card. It happened in the main card.
Yeah. So good on Trevin Jones. You got eyes on you, man. Keeping it. So get ready. Semmelsberger. The only thing I want to say about him, the dude hits hard, man. I was watching this and I was like, he's gonna kill this guy.
Yeah, kind of like it reminded me of the guy from last night's series on the main event.
Yeah, I missed the
oh man, unfortunately, that guy. That's how I felt the same way. Like, holy crap, this dude hits like a truck, man.
Yeah, man, it was insane. I was like, this guy's gonna kill him, but he didn't kill him, but damn near.
Yeah. For 3 rounds.
Yeah. So looking in, also just touching on it, Mizuki, man. She's so good, but you can't take hits like that.
And expect to win.
Hits.
Yeah,
it's because she looked good. I didn't think she might have almost had her in a submission at one point, but and she could. And the thing about her is she tires you the fuck out. Like she keeps coming forward. She's the Japanese zombie. I'm gonna go ahead and say that.
Yeah, there you go.
She keeps coming forward just like Korean Zombie does, but I guess against anybody else, maybe she wins that, but no, Lemos got the win, and she absolutely deserved it.
Yeah, she got the deserved win on that one.
An earned win, a very hard earned win for sure. All right, so let's get to the main card. This is where the meat of the discussion is going to be at. You have Daniel Rodriguez and Dwight Grant. This is the one you're talking about. Daniel Rodriguez, first of all, he's already fought 3 times this year?
3 times this year. The first one was a huge upset. He was supposed to lose that fight. The second one was a more even fight, and he won that fight as well. Mm-hmm. This fight, I think he was a favorite. I think he was a big favorite this fight. And dude, he got hit hard, man, and he went down. I thought they were gonna call a fight because he kept getting beat up on the floor. But if you I went back and saw him. If you notice, every time the ref said move or show me something or do something, he was moving. He was trying to get out of the position. So he was there. He just was being swarmed, so he couldn't really have all his faculties around him. But he gets back up, and as soon as he gets back up, man, he hits him with a short right hand, and that just shows you how much power he has, dude. Because that immediately rocked Grant, and then from there it was just the beginning of the end, dude. And he catches him again, I think with another right hand, and then he pushes him to the cage and just starts wailing on him, and he goes down, and the ref calls him, man, because he was hurt bad.
Yeah, and I think that's the key there is that he was hurt way more than Dan Rodriguez was when he was trying to recover. At one point, I think Grant might have went limp. Like it was rough. So
he didn't dispute the stoppage either. Like he wasn't upset or mad.
No,
he was out of it. Thank you. Yeah, he was out of it, man. He didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, so congrats to Daniel Rodriguez, dude. He's gonna be coming up fast in the welterweight rankings because he is the kind of fighter that the welterweight division needs. It's full of wrestlers, so it has the bad look, not the bad look, but like it's not the most fun to put on the top of a card or something. The welterweight division, but you know who I'm not saying because I don't think he's that good yet, but Daniel Rodriguez reminds me a lot of like a Masvidal. Like the dude's willing to bang. He can take a crack to the head.
Which we're going to talk about Masvidal today.
Yes, we are. But dude, it's just this is one of those fighters I'm really looking forward to watching fight again. Dwight Grant too. Dwight Grant shown a lot of potential, and you got hit hard. There's not much
you got to be more. I don't know how to explain it. More. It's not efficient, huh?
Yeah, he's got to be more calculated, especially like
there you go. That's exactly the word. That's exactly what I was looking for. He has to be more calculated when he's going for the finish, going for the kill, because he was just swarming. He wasn't really worried about position, and he should have been worried about positioning, and he wasn't. And he messed up, man. He messed up, and I bet you he wants that one back because he probably thinks he should have won that fight.
Yeah, I agree. Probably should have won that fight. All right, here's a performance of the night for the next fight, and probably my most infuriating fight. Maria Agapova and Shayna Dobson. What in the world was this? You blew your gas can in the first minute.
Yeah, this was interesting, man. This is an interesting fight. This is that one where you got to learn how to lose. I mean, she was 9-1. She was on the way up. She's already fought, I think, twice this year. I think
this is her second. So she had the Dana White Contender Series, looked really good in the Dana White Contender Series. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't know what her last one was. It was a win, but she said that she was very upset with her performance in that last fight.
Yeah, and so she thought she was gonna run over Shayna Dobson, and Shayna Dobson is a dog, dude. Like she's really good, man. And
I think she knocked out Cyphers in June.
Oh, that's what Agapova did. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like she just didn't understand what she was getting herself into, and credit goes to Dobson, man. Dobson, waited out the rush because in the beginning, the first round, man, she was all over her and she had a lot of energy and she was coming after her and was being relentless.
Yeah,
she just weathered the storm. She took her punches. She took her best hit, and then she came back. And then when she was tired, took over and got the TKO win, man.
Oh, yeah, man. Dobson looked fantastic in that second round. She was picking Agapova apart. You could tell from the minute that bell rung that, in my eyes, it was only a matter of time before Dobson got to finish. Like, it was just – she was just running – she was just walking her down, and Agapova just looked like she just had nothing. She had nothing left to give.
Yeah, she had nothing in the tank no more. She came out, and I think – I forgot who was the commentator, but I think they mentioned it, like, can she keep this up?
I think it was Cruz.
Yeah, can she keep this up for the whole fight? And she couldn't.
And he mentioned nobody can. Nobody can keep up that.
And that's something big to say from him because he carries a huge pace. That's what he's known.
Yeah, but if you got that guy saying that you can't keep up that pace, you got to be Clay Guida. And even then, Clay Guida's way more calculated with the way he throws. Like, he's just jumping around a lot. He's moving, but he's not throwing haymakers with every punch.
He's not moving for no reason. Like, he has a reason to be moving.
Absolutely. Yeah, and she was just moving just to move. So she paid for it, but this is a learning experience. So next up, we have Austin Hubbard versus Joe Solecki in the lightweight division. And dude, Joe Solecki looked great. Got that submission quick.
He got it quick. This was a crazy one because he took the back and it was a standing guillotine. And it just showed too, I think, again, Cruz was telling him that he needed to fight the knee because he had it vined around his knee. He had a triangle body lock, and Hubbard just wasn't attacking the right thing to get out of that. He should. There was probably like 3 occasions where he didn't have the triangle where he could have bent over and shook him off, and he did it. And Cruz said eventually he's like, it's too much to fight both the hands and the feet at the same time, and you end up making a mistake, and that's exactly what he did, man. But that was a big win for Solecki, man. He looked really good in that fight.
Yeah, man. Hubbard's coming off of a win, if I'm not mistaken. He was the one that won for. Was he the one that fought Joskov or Jotkov? Joko or I don't remember.
No, this is lightweight. He fought Roshkov.
Roshkov, that's what I'm talking about. Sorry, that's the guy. That's the one that said the one that quit in between rounds.
Oh yeah, that's him. Yeah. That was 2 months ago.
So Hubbard seems to be kind of trading wins and losses. He's winning, he's losing, he's winning, he's losing. So I know he's going to try and get back on track. But Solecki, big win for Selecki, man.
Definitely want
And you know
more
what?
him.
And when you look at the champion, who's the champion? It's kind of like, yeah, like I want to see a guy like that, because a lot of the lightweight is a lot of strikers and heavy hitters, and no one that can really grapple with Habib. I'm not saying Selecki can, but it's someone to keep watch of in terms of style.
Well, yeah, like jiu-jitsu guy. I don't know, man. Sometimes I feel like jiu-jitsu guys would do good against wrestlers, and sometimes they do, but sometimes they get too comfortable on their back, and
Yeah.
they get lulled into this. Oh, I'm gonna submit him. Yeah, I'm gonna
Or-
submit him off my
Yeah.
back, and it's rare, especially at that level, especially against a champion, you know. But you
Yeah.
also have, I think you have Ryan Hall in that division too at 155, who had to pull out. I think this last Saturday of a fight.
Yeah, he did.
So that's another Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guy. Why don't you put these two guys up against each other and see what happens? Just see what happens. I don't know.
Yeah, why not? All right, next up we got light heavyweight. We have Marcin Prashinio taking on Mike Rodriguez, and I don't know why, but I'm blanking on this one. So please lead the way on this one.
So this one, Prachinio, I think was the favorite, even though Rodriguez had like I guess some height and length on him. And it was pretty even for the most part. Prachinio was trying to close a distance and not be at a distance disadvantage because of the reach disadvantage. But man, Rodriguez, man, he kind of took over. He was doing some damage in the clinch. He kept getting him in the head clinch, the tight clinch, hitting him with knees to the body. Yeah, that guy. You remember it now?
Oh, yeah, the knees. I remember the knees.
The knees, and then right after that, when Prachinio was trying to disengage, he throws an elbow, and that elbow discombobulates him. You could see like he threw up his hands, like you know what happened. He falls back, and then Rodriguez hits him with two big monster shots and puts him to sleep on the ground, and that was it. That was the end of it. So it was good while it lasted. It was pretty even while it lasted, and then Rodriguez just hit that overdrive and hit the next level, and it was over.
Hey man, light heavyweight is a very, very shallow division. There's not a lot there at the moment. There's a lot of guys that kind of keep trading wins and losses. So I say all the time when I see light heavyweights, there's so much. You can run through that division fast.
It's wide open, man. It's wide open. We're going to be seeing Dom Reyes against Blakovic for the championship. You got Thiago Santos Moreta coming back from double ACL surgery. I mean, like you said, it's wide open right now. There's no champion.
Yeah, we just saw Smith Rakic, and I would say Rakic isn't quite ready for the top yet.
Yeah, so and I would say Smith is on the way down. So light heavyweight is a new heavyweight, man.
Absolutely. All right, getting to this, the fight of the night, and I completely agree with it. Pedro Munoz, Frankie Edgar. Dude, I wasn't expecting this from Frankie. I know Frankie's a legend, but it was just I had the Jose Aldo thing. I'm just like, it's later in your career, you're going down weight instead of like normally the trajectories you go up because you're just like, I don't want to go weight anymore. So it's always worried me. But Frankie looked great for at 135. And dude, he took some cracks from Pedro Munoz. He gave some. This is a fantastic fight. I'm interested to see how you scored the fight. I personally, I'm trying to think. I had it 3-2. Munoz. With the fourth round, close.
I had it,
and I'm just going off the top of my head because I haven't rewatched the fight. I've watched it once, so please don't kill me in the comments. But I think I had Munoz, but whenever they announced Edgar, I wasn't mad at it. Like I was like, yeah.
I mean, everyone wanted Edgar to win. Everybody wants all those cool guys to win, including me. I probably had a little bit of bias watching it, but then when the numbers came out, I thought I had it 3-2 Edgar, just because he was busier. And Munoz wasn't really that effective in the first 3 rounds. And if you look at the numbers, Frankie won the first 3 rounds as far as the numbers go. I think the third round was kind of close, but he still won it. And then he just got dominated the last 2 as far as volume goes. And if you look at it, the numbers are total strikes. Munoz landed 166 for 350, and Edgar landed 135 for 363. So Munoz ended up landing more overall in the whole fight, but I think that Edgar banked those rounds, and he just didn't have enough time to catch up, you know. And on top of that too, it's a 5-round fight. So if it was a 3-round fight, then Edgar would have won probably easily. But being that it was a 5-round fight, also you got to think about the weight cut for Edgar. And I don't know. I just felt like he did enough. You know, I just felt like he did enough. So
yeah,
I don't know.
I guess my main takeaway is like, one, Frankie Edgar is still the man. He's still great, guys. Like, we got to stop trying to retire him early. And I think in sports we do that a lot.
He said, "Put some respect on his name, man." That's what he said.
Yeah, man. Especially to go up against Munoz. Dude, Munoz has been doing nothing but finishing people, knocking people out, and to go in here and not only. It's not like he came in there and like Edgar came in here and he picked apart Munoz and avoided the big shots. Like, no, he got rocked a couple times with some big time shots that probably knocks out anybody else that isn't a former champion. Yep. But he's able to stick in there and do enough to get the judges on his side. My biggest takeaway is seeing Munoz go 5 rounds, and not only go 5 rounds, but look good going 5 rounds. So Munoz got a lot more, man, lot more to do. I don't know where to go with Frankie Edgar next. I don't even know where to go with Pedro next. I had to look at the rankings right now, and I'll probably do that right now while you're giving your piece. But I think that was my biggest takeaway is Munoz can go 5 rounds.
Well, not only that, dude, but nobody looks good against Munoz, man. Nobody. No. He's just so good. I mean, even, I think his last fight he lost against Aljamain Sterling. And, I mean, it was almost the same exact fight as Edgar fight. Aljamain Sterling beat him the first 3 rounds, and then he came on strong in the 4th and 5th round, and he was hurting Aljamain with some leg kicks in the 5th round. And if he had 6 rounds, he probably wins that fight, but it's not. It's 5-round fight. So he's just a tough out, man. He's just tough out. I feel like he's a slow starter. It takes him a little while to kind of figure out his timing on his opponents. And he's going to be one that if he figures that out, how to figure out the timing and start faster, then maybe he's going to be a problem, because you can't bank on those 3 first rounds that you have over him. And now you got to take more risks, or you have to come forward more or whatever to try to make up some ground. And that's when he catches you and knocks you out, because he's knocked out some people at 135. Yeah. So I don't know, man.
The most recent one was Garbrandt.
Yeah. So he's not a scrub, man. He's not a scrub by any stretch. He just needs
only 33.
Yeah. He just needs to put it together a little bit better.
Yeah, and that was what I was looking at right now. Was his age? He's only 33, man. He's in the prime. He's in his prime. He's gonna be able to bounce back. Sorry, I literally just closed the rankings, and I didn't want to do that, so I can see where the rankings are after that fight, because I didn't even look. So we have Frankie Edgar jumps up to number 5, and Pedro's right below him with 6.
That's fair.
I think Munoz was 7 when this fight happened. So
he went up.
Yeah, he went up 1. He passed up Jose Aldo, so Jose's at number 7 now. And yeah, I mean, there's nothing else really more to say about that. Frankie, I don't know, man, because Garbrandt's going to be fighting. Fighting Figueiredo soon.
At 125.
Sandhagen just signed with Moraes. Like, there's not really anything. Both guys can kind of just hang back.
Yep.
Recover from that war.
Yeah, I was gonna say, man. I mean, honestly, it's probably best for him to take that time off, because, I mean, that's a lot of punches landed on both of them, man. 166 and 135 punches landed is a lot, So
yeah, I think I was talking to my brother about it. I was like, I love Edgar. Edgar's great, but I don't want to see him in these wars anymore.
Yeah, dude.
Like, these wars they're fun to watch, but
dude,
think about the long-lasting effect.
Man, I'm telling you, dude, go back and watch the trilogy with Gray Maynard, man. Go back and watch it. It's not a lot, because they all ended quickly, I think.
It's just
actually the first two were 5-round fights, and the last one ended quicker. But they were wars, dude. They were wars, and that was 155 pounds, and he's taking a beating at 155 pounds. That's what I'm saying, man. You don't want to see these older guys get into these fights with these young lions, man, because they've already been there, man. They've already been there and done that. They shouldn't have to take another beating, man. So I'm telling you, mark my words, man. Do it like a legacy. legacy circuit or something with guys over the age of 36, 37 or something.
Yeah, dude. It's I would like to see that because maybe we won't see as many awards. Because yeah, it gets hard to watch sometimes. It really does. Sorry guys, if y'all see me glancing to my side, I have the Rockets game up.
I'm glancing right here because I have it. I'm streaming it right now.
Yeah, 99-96, Rockets up, but it's 5 minutes left, and it's still a very close game, and I'm very upset about it because every single time that these games against Thunder have been close, we've lost. When we blow them out, we win.
I agree.
This should have been a 4-game series. Should have been a sweep. Anyways, let's move on. We're gonna go ahead and go to Dana White's Contender Series, man. And this is week 4. So this is week 4 of the Contender Series. You start off. Yep, I have it right here in front of me. First fight, middleweight fight, Colin Huckbody versus Kyron Bowen. And Colin Huckbody very quickly gets the arm triangle. First round, 1 minute and 28 seconds. Able to get the arm triangle choke. And he passed him out. I think he made him pass out. I don't think the guy he was fighting tapped. If I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong. But Colin Huckbody gets a submission in 1 minute and a half a minute. And
I don't remember these fights, man.
I remember this one for sure. Colin Huckbody, he basically said that he's ready to go again as soon as possible, and he gets the contract. So that's great. The next one was Anthony Romero versus Mike Breeden.
I remember the main event.
Yeah, okay, you remember the main event. So this one I don't really remember. I don't really remember this one. If I'm not mistaken. Oh, this one was tough. Okay, I do remember this one. Anthony Romero, Mike Breeden, lightweight. This one was tough, man, because Breeden looks really good, but Anthony Romero's younger, dude. It's just something about because I think Anthony Romero is 23 and Breeden is in his 30s. And he just couldn't overcome this young guy and kick the hell out of his legs, dude. But I'll say this. So Anthony Romero didn't get the contract because he wasn't able to finish basically a guy who was on one leg by the end of the fight. That's the one where Mike Breeden, he got kicked in his leg so many times at the end of the fight. He wanted to go down so bad. You saw maybe 4 times where he gets kicked and you see him want to drop. But dude, he kept fighting until that very end of the round. And that's where I was like, this guy might get a contract based solely off the fact that he was fighting on one leg and refused to give up. And the reason why, and he's the reason why Anthony Romero didn't get a contract, because he was willing to fight through that pain. I do think that Anthony Romero broke his foot. I think Anthony Romero broke his foot because halfway through the round when he was throwing the kick over and over again, and then halfway through the round he stopped throwing it and it was off a check.
Yeah, that's usually what happens.
So I'm wondering if he broke his foot, and maybe he's just not saying it. And maybe if he said it, Dana would be like, "Hey, get it, come back for another Dana White Contender Series." But that one was tough, man, because Breeden's one of those guys that when you bring your son into it, dude, it makes me cheer for you. So good fight between those two. Mike Breeden's tough as nails. Next one, flyweight division, Jeffrey Molina versus Jacob Silva. Jeffrey Molina is going to be a star.
Is this the one that both of those guys were really good?
Yeah.
I think he kneed him and he cut him underneath the eye, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah.
That one, Houston boy. Silva's Houston boy.
I saw that fight. And that was a good fight.
My only problem in this fight, Laura Sanko was definitely biased. Jeffrey Molina is her teammate.
Oh, there you go.
So she was just doing nothing but talking him up. So I was like, get her off the screen. But I'm just kidding. I love Laura Sanko. She's fantastic.
Yes, she is.
But dude, Jacob Silva, man, and Dana White even commented on it after when he was handing out contracts. He basically told Jacob Silva what I always say whenever I see a really good fighter that loses. Just get ready and get ready for that call.
Be ready.
Dana White straight up said it. He was like, if we need a guy, Jacob Silva's getting the call. The dude came out. He has a pace that I don't know if anyone. I mean, it's the flyweight division, so maybe they can. But it's a very refreshing pace in the fact that the dude gets hit, and then but instead of backing up and wrestling, he goes forward. Like Jacob Silva gets clocked, and then he goes forward. It's like, all right, if I'm gonna get knocked out, I'm gonna take you with me.
Damn, it's tied 99-99.
Oh man, But yeah, dude, Jacob Silva, Houston guy, Adrian Llanos is actually in his corner for this fight. So I'm definitely cheering for him, and I definitely became a fan. Jeffrey Molina too, though, man. Like Jeffrey Molina is really good.
Yeah,
and he's young.
they both gained fans out of that fight, man. I mean, I'm a fan of both of those guys now. I don't know. Just when you were saying it, and I remember Dana White talking about it, it just reminded me of Hard Knocks when these coaches are cutting these guys. They're saying just be ready. Out of any season, this is a season to be ready because of COVID. You know, any player can go down. You know, so you might be called up at any second. So just be ready. And this the same thing with us. Yep.
Yeah. Next one. This one was funny because my girlfriend walked in for this one. Featherweight Rafael Alves versus Alejandro Flores. My girl, the first thing she said was, "That guy is way bigger than the other guy." She's looking at Rafael Alves, and I was like, "Yeah, and guess what? That's at 145."
Yes, dude.
Like that dude weighs 145, and he's gigantic. But
well, they were talking about it too. Like, how did he make weight, man?
I don't know. How does Costa make weight? I don't know. These Brazilians have magic inside of them.
Paulo Costa much?
Yeah. But yeah, this is good, man. Rafael Alves gets the contract too, and dude, he's gonna be a force in this division. Yeah. Especially if he's that big. He can bang with him, but he can also he's so comfortable on the ground. Because this is the few guillotine chokes that I've seen personally watching, where they jump and went for the guillotine and hooked it in. That's basically what he did.
Is this the one where he turns him around? Did he turn him around on this one? Was it one arm in or no?
Yes.
It was just a one arm and he flipped over, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so dude, I mean, but also it was a big mistake on Flores, man, for trying to take him down and putting his head right there. As soon as he felt it, he jumped on it, like you said, and that's a big mistake, man. I think that's fatigue. That's fatigue. Yeah. You know, you're tired. You want to take it down. You feel more comfortable. You want to get a breather when you're on top of him, and you lose the fight because you know the guy's really good at a guillotine and he's a lot bigger than you and he's gonna muscle you. You know,
dude. The first thing I said was even before the fight started, I was like, he's gonna tap this guy out. Yeah. The Brazilians, dude, that's what they grow up doing. They grow up tapping each other out.
That's the national sport.
Yeah, man.
Besides football.
It's crazy, man. So I knew it the minute that it came on that he was gonna tap this dude out. One is jacked for 145.
Yes.
But the surprise was seeing how good he is on his feet, because how many jiu-jitsu guys have we seen that can't get the fight to the ground, so they struggle. It happens all the time, and he did not do that. He was able to hang on the feet and then pick his shot. And there's a reason you don't see that jumping guillotine, succeed very often, because guys know how to defend against that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, all right, next up, this one I don't remember. So you're gonna have to take me on this one. No, I do remember this one. This is 3-time Dana White Contender Series Jamie Pickett against Pati, and dude, I was just so happy. Like, I was just so happy that he got he got what he needed. Because what was it? The first one was a loss in the Contender Series, right?
I don't remember this guy, man. I don't remember this fight either.
So I don't remember the first one, but I know the second one he won, but he won by decision. So he didn't do enough to get the contract. And this one, he did what he was supposed to do. You don't take it to the judges. You leave it in their hands. And he got this. He was able to get this guy with knees, constant knees. Pati could not stop the knees. This is the one that's the clear thing I remember. It's constant knees to the face. Pati just was blocking him with his face.
His face had a lot of blocking to do in that one.
Yeah, man. If you can't defend in the clinch, you got to get the hell out. Like, you can't just take knees like that. You're gonna get knocked out. That's exactly what happened. Got knocked out basically, and then got the TKO. So happy for Jamie Pickett. Got the contract.
Hey, man, he did what he had to do. It took him 3 tries, but he finally did it.
Absolutely, man. All right, so you ready? You're gonna be taking the lead on this one, because I only remember the first couple fights on this most recent card. And I didn't watch the rest. Yeah, Racket Smith. I did not watch the rest because I was like, I kind of heard that it was just it wasn't. It was good, but it wasn't anything worth my time, so I didn't take the time. But we'll go ahead and start the first performance of the night. Dana White Contender Series alum Mallory Martin gets the submission against Hannah Cyphers, and don't be surprised if we see Hannah Cyphers' name on that list of cut fighters.
I don't know.
3 in a row.
She's lost 3 in a row, but she's also being stepped up to do last minute replacements and whatnot. So I think she has some favor with Dana White. This one is also bad luck on her part. Mm-hmm. Bad luck / bad coaching, I guess. Man, in the first round, dude, she almost
hit her hard.
Yeah, but she almost knocked her out. She hit her hard and she fell and she was out of it, dude. And she just couldn't finish. And in the second round, she gives up a submission. She gets taken down. Mallory Martin showing the high fight IQ, or her corner showing the high fight IQ to take her down and get the submission. And that's exactly what she did. And Hannah Cyphers is a tough girl, man. She was taking some punches and she was just giving as good as she got because she almost had that finish. But it just feels like it's tough luck on this one, man. I feel like this one was supposed to be her bounce back, and she almost had it in the first round, and it just didn't work out that way in the end, man.
Yeah, man. So first, you get the toughness from Mallory Martin. She's able to take a hit and then bounce back. Like I said, a good fight IQ. Second, Hannah Cyphers has to work on the ground game because this happened against Mackenzie Dern. Not as bad as Mackenzie Dern. Mackenzie Dern's was just straight up horrible because it was the leg lock that Hannah Cyphers didn't try to get out of.
Yeah,
but it was a little bit more like it's still bad, but
Mackenzie Dern is like one of the best women Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu players in the UFC right now. So that one, like you can say, okay, I see that.
Yeah, this one, see, Mallory is more from my experience because she lost her first fight by decision. So she's kind of a decision because even against in the Dana White Contender Series, that was a decision win. She got the decision in, but she was dominant to the point where she went the Tracy Cortez route. That's how I remember them, as they both went to decision, but they both dominated, so they got the
contract.
Yeah, so they got the contract. So sorry about that. So I was expecting this to go a decision, and then she almost gets knocked out. I was like, oh man, this might be bad for Mallory, but she's able to come back and get the win. Therefore, she got the performance of the night. The extra 50K is going home with her, so good for her. Good on her. I would like to see Hannah Cyphers bounce back. I like Hannah Cyphers. She's one of those people that, even though she doesn't quite have a character, she might have a character within her own like real life. Like you could build on that. Like you can build on the fact that she's nervous in front of crowds. You're like, how are you nervous in front of crowds, but you're knocking people out? She was knocking girls out before.
She was. That's why we were on her for a little bit.
So let's go to the next fight, man. So we have Polyana Viana, Emily Whitmire, another submission. This is the card where we got back to we got 4 submissions in a row.
Yep.
So Polyana Viana against Emily Whitmire. I believe this was the armbar. And it's the only thing I'll say on this one, because I don't really remember it much. It still baffles me how fast people will tap out when that armbar is locked in. Like it's insane. Like you don't, because like you're looking and you're like, that's not that bad, but it's immediate when people lock in that armbar.
Yeah, because they know they've been training, they've been on the ground rolling with other people, and they know the leverage that you have, which is 2 arms on one, and bending your arm in the way it's not supposed to bend can create a lot of damage real quick, man. And so that's why they tap. They'd rather tap than be out for 6 to 8 weeks with a dislocated elbow.
Yeah. Polyviana's good, man. She's really good. All right, let's go to the next fight. We have this is another performance of the night. Sean Brady versus Christian Aguilera. Dude, Sean Brady just dominated. This is a domination.
Yeah.
I remember seeing someone post. They're like, I'm not decided. They're like, I haven't decided on if Sean Brady's tattoos are cool or not. We'll see if he wins the fight. Maybe anyone that person tweeted like right after, like, his tattoos are cool.
Yeah, they're cool now.
Yeah. So, but yeah, this is good, man. Sean Brady's gonna be a monster in this welterweight division. Dude, he's not a wrestler in the classic terms. This guy's going for the finish.
Yeah, dude, he's 13-0, man. So he has a lot of juice with him.
So really looking forward to see Sean Brady fight. This was just a style mismatch. Like
Yeah.
Christian Aguilera just didn't know what to do.
Yeah. And I mean, if you look at his record, 14-6 coming in. So it looked like it was just one to kind of feed to Sean Brady, get him in there, get him a win, get him a tough fight that he can potentially win, which is exactly what happened.
Yeah, man. All right, next up, Alex Caceres versus Austin Springer. Dude, this was fast too.
Bruce Leroy with the shaved head or the
yeah, he's got the buzz now, or not the buzz, he's got what the edge up.
Yeah, the trim cut, man, and I mean he kind of showed what he is out there, man. He's a veteran now. You know, I've seen him come up from nothing, from whenever he was in the Ultimate Fighter and he lost, and you know he had a lot of hype, a lot of buzz, and was this basically he was a what's his name? Not Sergio Pettis. What's the Pettis guy? Anthony Pettis. Anthony Pettis light is what Caceres.
How dare you go to Sergio first? What the?
Well, Sergio's doing good, dude. So that's why.
I know, but come on, like people know Showtime.
Yeah. Oh, come on, dude.
You. So yeah, Caceres is good, man. I'm looking forward to seeing him fight. Springer, sorry, brother. I don't really know what else to say except sorry.
Yeah, man. I mean, he ran up against a Caceres that's on a little streak. He's on a three fight win streak now after this fight. Again, like I mentioned, he's kind of elevated himself to now being that veteran. He knows how to fight. He knows what he's good at. He knows how to get some wins, man. And he's going to exploit your deficiencies right now. He's just trying to get wins, man. He doesn't want to lose. He doesn't want to go in there and try to prove that he's better at striking than you or better at this. If he has an advantage, he's going to take advantage of it.
Yeah, man. So this is where I will hand off to you because this is the last fight that I watched.
Okay,
so,
cool.
Please go ahead. The next fight we had, if you want to talk about these, you can. But if you would not, you can jump to the main card.
Yeah, let's just talk real quick about these next two. Alessio De Chirico and Zach Cummings was a really competitive fight. It went back and forth. They were very well matched. Zach Cummings is coming off of a big layoff, so I think that might have kind of affected him. But he is a very cerebral fighter. At the end of the fight, man, he lands this huge high kick that basically knocks out Chirico, but there's no time to follow up. The buzzer goes off, and that's the end of the fight. So he ended up getting the decision win. I think it was well deserved. He won the fight. The next fight after that, Pitolo versus Kasangane. Kasangane, I think both of these guys were on the Dana White Contender Series. This one was good, but Kasangane really dominated. Let me see what the numbers are. 86 out of 189 to 72 out of 174. And he gets the win. He's also called out Martin Vittori. Yeah, at middleweight, and I think they're going to make that fight happen here soon. So we're going to get to see more of Kasangane in the coming months. On to the main card. Are you there, man? Hold on. Okay. I know you can hear me, I think. On the main card, I'll wait for you. So we can talk about Ricardo Lamas and Bill Algeo, however they said his name, which was a newcomer on last minute, I think 7-day notice, I believe, or something of that nature. Okay, hold on. We're going to have to wait for 20 seconds while the Thunder take the last shot. 103-102. Houston. If the Rockets lose. Oh, good defense. No. Yes. Good defense by James Harden. He got a block right there at the end and over Lou Dort, who's been just a pain in the side of the Rockets. And now Rockets get the ball. Whew. All right, back to what we're talking about. Bill Algeo was a last-minute 7-day replacement. I forgot who replaced. But, man, this fight was very competitive. Are you there?
I'm here, man, and I just wanted to say I was listening the whole time. And Impa Kasangane, yes, they are both Dana White Contender Series. But yes. Impa just fought like 3 weeks ago on the Contender Series.
Okay,
He was on the August 11th
okay.
edition of Contender Series. So it was a very quick turnaround, and he was extremely dominant in his fight against on the Contender Series. So to find out that he was dominant in this fight too, is very good.
And now he's fighting Martin Vettori because he called him out. He called him out on Twitter. Vettori doesn't have a dance partner. I really like that fight. I want to see that fight. I hope it comes. I think they're talking about October.
That'll be another 3-round fight, but it'll be a very entertaining fight.
Yes. Yeah, so that's definitely a good fight to look forward to. I mean, he's impressive, man. He's pretty impressive to win two fights so impressively. And I mean, it was clear cut. He won the fight. He won the fight. So definitely look forward to seeing more of Kasangane. I also like his name. His name is a pretty cool name. So
yeah, it is.
It rolls off the tongue.
Kasangane. Yeah. And then you're heading on to Ricardo Lamas versus Bill Algeo.
Yeah. Did you watch
and this was fight of the night. No, I'm telling you, these I didn't watch. None of these I've watched. So you're going to be taking the not even my girl Alexa Grasso's.
Okay, so this was a fight of the night, well deserved. Ricardo Lamas, Bill Algeo for being a newcomer was very game. He's going to get more fights at the UFC. He's going to give people a lot of problems. He has the Stephen Wonderboy Thompson fight style where he fights sideways in karate and whatnot. And he was giving Lamas some fits, but if you look at the total strikes, it was 127 out of 80 for Lamas to 145 out of 224 for Algeo. The big difference is Lamas had 5 takedowns out of 11 attempts, and Algeo had 1 out of 1 attempt. He actually had a reversal, I believe. But I think Lamas got it because of those takedowns. I think he was more effective. I think he hurt him a couple times. I think he set him down one time with the punch. But it was a really good fight. After the fight, Lamas talked about retirement. He doesn't know if he is or he's not. So in my mind, he's retired. That's it.
Yep.
There were some other people calling him out. They probably think he's an easy fight. He's not an easy fight by any stretch. Lamas also had a very poignant comment and message for his people of Cuba. His father and his grandfather were refugees and political. I think they were political prisoners for a while as well in Cuba, and he just wanted to tell his people to rise up and to get out from the Castro regime. That it's time for a change for the people of Cuba. So I thought that was cool. He used his platform to talk about something that's important to him. And he's also talked about retirement. So fight of the night, he gets that extra bonus if he wants to ride off into the sunset. He's had a great career. He's fought some of the best. He's beat some of the best. He's also lost to some of the best. But nothing to hang your head around about. Definitely a good career.
Yeah. All right, man. Next up, my girl, Alexa Grasso, taking on Ji-Yeon Kim. This is Alexa Grasso's first fight in the flyweight division, making the jump up in weight because she was having trouble making straw weight.
Yep.
So please tell me, how great is she?
Tell me.
Is the bias obvious?
On a scale of 1 to 10, how good is she, and why is she a 15?
Yes, thank you. Please explain. Because to me, like she's perfect. There's nothing wrong with her. She's adorable. She's a great striker. So please tell me why she's going to be the future champion of the flyweight division.
So she was actually she's going up in weight, but she kind of looks smaller than Ji-Yeon Kim. The first round was actually semi-close, you would say, and then after that, it looks like Grasso just, I guess, found what she was looking for and kind of got some more timing and just kind of picked her apart for the rest of the fight. She actually had a takedown as well. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I felt like it was more sparring than anything. I don't think Grasso was trying to go for a finish. I think she was maybe trying to feel herself out in that weight division, the power of Kim.
Yeah. See if she could handle the power, maybe?
Yeah, like kind of, I don't think she was going for a lot. I don't think she was going for it. I don't want to say she was timid, because she wasn't timid. She was throwing and she was punching and she was trying to damage her, but she wasn't like taking the risk. She really wanted to get this win under her belt at this new weight division. And that's exactly what she did. So hats off to her, man. She looked really good. Again, she's not going to have a problem promoting fights. You know that. Everybody knows that. Everybody wants to see her fight. Everybody wants to see more of her.
Yes.
In this division. She's going to have more opportunities as well. So good for her, man. But it is going to get tougher. The girls are going to be bigger than her for the most part, probably.
So
figure that out.
She is ranked. Now she is ranked because I believe Jiyoung Kim was ranked at 14.
Mm-hmm.
So now Alexa Grasso is there at 14. And above her, you have Antina Shevchenko. I think she could handle Shevchenko. Shevchenko is the lesser of the Shevchenko sisters.
That's easy. I mean, obviously.
Well, yeah, but she's the lesser of the Shevchenko sisters. Like, I don't see Antonina really competing in this division.
No, I think she would do the same thing she did to Kim, honestly.
Yeah, so I could see her beating Shevchenko, Alexis Davis. De La Rosa is fighting soon. I don't know why I'm blanking on who she's fighting. I think she's fighting Araujo. Viviane, Violence Queen. Macy Barber, who is unfortunately recovering from her, I think it was an ACL. Andrea Lee, maybe. Andrea Lee is one of those. That's going to be a 3-round back and forth of those two girls. So that would be a fun fight.
Yep.
But I don't know. It's, there's a lot of good fights for her. Roxanne Modafferi.
That might be too much because she would be so much bigger than her right now.
Yeah, I would keep her out of top 5 though.
And she would grapple her. She would grapple her and take her down and put her in deep water.
Yeah, I don't want to see Alexa go anywhere near the top 6. Which
not right now.
Modafferi, no,
they get bigger.
Which because right now, at that point, you have Jessica Ai, who would be towering over Alexa Grasso. Calderwood, who would just be hungry because she just got that loss. Lauren Murphy, who was big for the division.
Yep.
Jennifer Maya's got her championship fight. Talvio would just wrestle her to the ground and stop her, and I think Chikagian would do the same in terms of she would not only wrestle her, but she would keep her at bay. She'd be able to keep her at bay because she's so much bigger. So Grasso, I would like to see the Angela Lee fight.
I agree.
Grasso versus Angela Lee, that'd be a fun fight. All right, next up we have the co-main event. Book it. Next you have the co-main event. Robbie Lawler taking on Neil Magny. Magny getting the win. But I heard it was a really good fight.
It was a really good fight, but
why is the game not ending?
Because they keep calling timeouts, man. They keep calling
Jesus Christ. It's been 1.1 for the last 10 minutes. Man. Sorry.
It was a really good fight, but Robbie Lawler at this point is a shell of himself. I think somebody on Twitter said it well that we don't look at the people that Tyrone Woodley has knocked out and what they are after he knocks them out, because ever since he knocked them out, he hasn't been the same. I think he's on a 3-fight losing streak or something like that, something crazy like that.
Yeah, Askren, Covington.
There was one. Yeah, I guess so. He's on a 3-fight losing streak now. But the thing about Magny, man, is Magny, I think, is also only 33. He's long for the division. He's crafty. He's crafty as hell. He doesn't have power, dude. He doesn't have power, but he's just a volume guy. And he's a very he was disrupting. He was doing little things that was disrupting Robbie Lawler's timing. And you can tell Robbie Lawler was getting frustrated. Robbie Lawler was like, okay, one more inch to the left and this bomb is coming to his face. And then he'd kick him right in the stomach and it would throw him off. Or Robbie Lawler was like, I'm about to unleash his left hook or this left high kick. And right when that happened, a jab was in his face. Or man, I'm about to unleash on him. I'm tired of this. And then he would clinch him, or he would drag him down to the ground, or he would get on his back on the fence. It was just annoying. I could tell that Robbie Lawler was annoyed, and the thing he wasn't. I wouldn't say he was being a pest. I was just saying he was just being disruptive. He couldn't get his timing down. He couldn't get a grip. He couldn't
get comfortable.
Yeah, exactly. He was uncomfortable the whole fight.
Yeah, you're not gonna win that way.
And not an uncomfortable from I'm gonna get knocked out. An uncomfortable from let me throw a punch, bam. Jab in the face. Let me throw a punch. Man, my nose hurts. Let me throw a punch. My leg. It was just uncomfortable the whole fight. Big props to Neil Magny, man. Magny, that was one of his best performances. Oh my God, why are they shooting free throws?
It was technical, I think. Stupid. But, sorry guys, if we pause, we're in the midst of a Rockets Game 7. If you don't know, Rockets aren't great. The Game 7.
Oh yes, I don't lie.
Okay, you're ahead of me.
My bad.
You're ahead of me. It's all good. It's all good. That's the thing about using the ESPN app, man. Their stream's always a little bit behind, but yeah. I'm looking at the rankings, man. So Neil Magny is at 11 now, whereas you have Robbie Lawler at 15. I'm not really looking forward to what Robbie Lawler's doing, not because I don't love him, but because it's not going to be a top story. I guess like when his next fight gets announced, this will be the first time that we won't be like, who's Robbie Lawler fighting? Like it's going to be kind of like, oh, Robbie Lawler's fighting on this card. Oh wow.
Yeah.
So what's up?
He's just a cherry on top at this point. Like if he's on the card, you might get the old Robbie Lawler in a huge knockout or something, or you might get this Robbie Lawler that's kind of gun shy and just can't put it together right now for some reason.
Yeah, but Neil Magny has some very interesting names above him. So are you ready to hear these?
Yes.
So at number 10, you have Vicente Luque.
Ooh.
At number 9, you have Rafael dos Anjos. At number 8, you have Michael Chiesa. Number 7, you have Damian Maia. And number 6, you have Wonder Boy Stephen Thompson. So I'm trying to think. I don't know if any of these guys have fights yet. I think all these guys are fightless at the moment.
I don't think there's any setup right now.
So
they were kind of waiting on what the top was going to do.
So out of all of these, I have 2 interesting ones that I want to see.
Okay.
Luque, because that'll just be a fun fight. Against Vicente Luque. I don't know who comes out of that fight. But the other one is if Magny wants another name on his list, Rafael dos Anjos.
I was thinking that Dos Anjos is probably the easiest fight for him.
Yeah.
At this point.
There's one I would stay away from, and that's Chiesa. I'm staying away from Chiesa.
I don't know how Chiesa's so low on the rankings, dude, because he
hasn't fought in a while.
Because nobody wants to fight him.
Exactly. And I'm going to say the same thing for Neil Magny. Don't fight this man. One, he doesn't have the name that you're quite looking for. Because like you said, you want names on your resume. This isn't the name you're looking for at the moment.
So
this is not the fight you want.
Exactly. So he has a loss to Damian Maia. Magny does. Yeah. He has a loss to Rafael dos Anjos. But this is 2017.
Yeah.
And then he has a loss.
He's old.
He has a loss to Santiago Ponzinibbio. And then from there, he's on a 3-fight winning streak. So
yeah, I would go Dos Anjos. Get that. Say you want the.
I would go with Dos Anjos.
Once you win back.
He lost by arm triangle, which I don't think he would fall for that one again. I think he's a better fighter than Dos Anjos at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. I like to see him against Dos Anjos. I like to see him against Damian Maia. Maybe try to get that win back. I would like to see him against Luque because that's basically, who's gonna get it? Is Luque gonna come home with the big right hand, or is Magny gonna frustrate him and just keep punching him in the face and kicking him and get him?
Or is he gonna hold you just above the the canvas and knee you in the face?
That's what I'm saying. Like everything is down to an inch in that fight, and I would like to see that fight. I think.
Yeah, man. You know what? You could get that on a main event of a UFC fight night.
I agree.
So
I agree.
If you're not gonna put that as a main event, then give it Dos Anjos.
That's true.
You could sell that as a fight because you could replay the knee knockout from Luque multiple times, and you can just mention Robbie Lawler's name over and over again.
Yeah, and that's it. Done deal.
Boom! It's sold. Man, what the hell? Why aren't we working for the UFC? No, I'm just kidding. Their promos have been fantastic lately. They've been doing really good.
They needed to be because there's a lot of contender series guys on these fight cards, man. It's like 50% contender series guys.
I know, but they're killing it. They know where to go, man. I guess it helps that the contender series, the majority of those people have fantastic knockouts or submissions, so it sells itself. But it's been really good lately. All right, man. So tell me about Anthony Smith versus Alexander Rakic in the fake main event of this fight, because if you don't go 5 rounds, you're not a real main event.
Dude, this was so whack, man. Like, I feel like I don't know. Can you? The question I would pose to you is, can you lose a nickname? Because Lionheart is no longer the Lionheart. I feel like
And so if you're listening, I have my face in my hands because one of the first fights that I watched making this journey back into the UFC was John Jones versus Anthony Smith, and I was telling you so much how impressed I was with Anthony Smith. He lost that fight from bell to bell. I was impressed with the way he lost. And that might be a weird thing to say. I was impressed with the. It might be a weird thing to say, but I didn't give two shits about John Jones. One, because he threw that illegal ass knee and should have lost the fight. But Anthony Smith was a Lionheart, and he was willing to take his loss like a man. Dude, the fall, I've never seen a bigger, in my time of watching, I've never seen a bigger fall from grace than Anthony Smith.
And well, the thing is, man, is that he kind of had the reputation at 185, man, that he was the gym monster. He was so athletic, so tall, lanky, strong. He's been fighting since he was young, so he has a great skill set. And he just would give up, man, or he would gas out and get beat up. And so he moved to 205, and he looked good in a couple fights, and he got that fight against John Jones, and he lost in a like a man, basically like a man. He took a beating, but he didn't give up, and he tried to win, But we're seeing a lot more of those fights to a lot less fighters,
Yeah.
To a washed up Glover Teixeira, to a Rakic that probably doesn't beat anybody in the top 7 or 8 of the division, but he beats Anthony Smith. And for the first round, I would say it was decent. Like, it was a decent fight. Like, okay, maybe this would be a good fight. And then Rakic just kind of took over, and at the same time didn't take over. He just put on a little bit more pressure. He just put on a little bit more heat, and Anthony Smith just started folding, man, and started getting tired. I think he hurt him, and I think from there it was kind of over. And I don't know, man. It was just they kept showing this one fight where he fought. I forgot who he fought. He fought at 185, and I guess the guy was disrespecting Anthony Smith and saying that he was a no-name or something. And he was like, "Do you know my name now? Do you know my name now?" Because he was beating him up.
Yeah.
Like, man, this is – I don't know, man. I just know he doesn't have something. Either he's not motivated or he's done. Like, he's done at this point. Like, this guy – in all honesty, the guy that fought John Jones would probably beat the crap out of Rakic, dude. But
don't forget, he also beat up on Gustafsson.
Yeah, exactly.
He whooped on Gustafsson, man.
So that guy beats him and beats Glover Teixeira, but I don't know, man. It's a hit or miss on who you're gonna get.
Maybe he has been working more on the desk, not on the commentary, but on the analysis side. Mm-hmm. Maybe he's gotten comfortable with it, man. And there's nothing against that. There's no. I wouldn't hold it against him. That's a very nice job, dude. It's a very nice job. You're doing something you love in terms of talking about the sport that you grew up loving, and it is a little bit. It's probably a lot more fun than getting punched in the face. And if the motivation's gone, I hope that he gets out of it. If he doesn't want to fight anymore, you know what I mean? Yeah. He doesn't have to try and stick to his Lionheart name and say I got to go in there and keep fighting. Like, no, man. Like, take a step back. Enjoy the job that you have, because I think he's great analysis. He hasn't done commentary yet, but I think he's a great analysis guy. Mm-hmm. So take a step back, maybe. Rakic, there's not much for him to do right now. I'm looking at the stuff at the rankings, and everyone's tied up. Dominic Reyes is gonna be fighting Jan. Thiago Santos is the number 2, is fighting Glover Teixeira. Then you have Alexander Rakic right there at 5.
Yeah, and he's only fighting like once a year, man. Like, his last fight, he lost to Ozdemir, and the fight before that, he knocked out Jimmy Manuwa. So it's not like he's taking the light heavyweight division by storm, but like we said, the division's wide open. There's no champion. We're gonna have a new champion soon, so he can make some moves potentially, man.
Yeah, Ozdemir's right underneath him. Maybe he wants to avenge the loss. Ozdemir's right underneath him at 7. So I don't know, but Anthony Smith's there at number 8, and there's not anybody I want to see him fight. I would like him to just, I'm not even say hang it up, just take a step back.
Yeah, man, he needs to regroup, man, because he has not looked good in these losses that he's had. It doesn't do him any well to get those moral victories of not getting submitted or not getting knocked out and just taking a beating, for the last half of the fight. This
thing, man, against Glover Teixeira, he took more of a beating against Glover Teixeira than John Jones, and people weren't saying at the end of the fight, they weren't saying, "Wow, like he hung in there." No, they were saying that fight should have been stopped.
Mm-hmm.
So when they start going that way, they're not really talking Lionheart anymore, but they're talking about something else.
Yep, I agree.
All right. So I didn't watch this Contender Series, so I'm gonna go ahead and let you take it away. I'm assuming you just want to talk about the guys who won the contracts, which is less than has been happening normally.
No, hold on. Actually, this was a really good.
Okay, go ahead, man. Take it away.
Let me just find the names on this guy.
All right, so the first one, if you want to go it, you can just let me know. The first fight was the lightweight Tucker Lutz versus Chase Gibson. I did watch this fight. Tucker Lutz is lucky to have ended to win that fight. I think he should have got the finish against Gibson because Gibson almost came back and won.
Yeah, so that fight, that was a good fight. You mentioned it. He kind of got his timing and his mojo in the second round, and he started striking better.
Mm-hmm.
So Dana White didn't give him a contract, but he invited him. He said that he's doing the Contender Series all over again in November for sure. So he already announced it. So we're getting a season 5 in November, which is quick turnaround. I'm sure he's doing it because he's having so much success with the Contender Series, as well as using these guys in the main event cards on fight nights and pay-per-views.
Yeah.
So he invited him in November to fight again because he was impressed by him. So although he didn't get the contract, that's the first time he's done something like that.
All right. I'm going to have maybe an unpopular opinion. I don't think there should be seasons of the Dana White Contender Series. I think it should just be happening a year round.
Over and over.
Just let it go, man. Just have it, man. There's so many fighters out there that are ready to come in there and fight. There's no way he couldn't do it. That he couldn't fill out week by week. Especially with so many people that he's telling, come back. Well, if you got it week by week, I can come back anytime. It's just because I just love this damn show so much. It's so great.
Yeah, dude, I agree, man. I mean, I've said that it's must-watch TV. There's so much background in it. There's so much stories that you get tied to, and it allows you to kind of remember the fighters when they're coming up, or remember them on the next fight card, or want to see them fight again, and it just gives you something to root for sometimes, man. So yeah, definitely think that there should be more than seasons of Contender Series.
Or you do like a spring and a fall, where like he's about to do now, where it's kind of going to be back to back, but you can maybe space it out by a couple months, like do a spring Dana White Contender Series, fall Dana White Contender Series, and then you have 2 months, and then you're back into it. I
would agree with that. That'd be dope. Yep.
All right. Next up, light heavyweight. This one I also watched. Light heavyweight. William Knight defeats Cody Brundage via TKO. I just have one question.
Mm-hmm.
Were these illegal elbows?
Nope.
They were legal? Okay. They're very close.
They were very close. I think he said, I don't know if it was this one, but they said catch the ear. But, I mean, I think they looked at it from 2 or 3 different angles. I think they're legal. They weren't coming down. They were on the side. And this dude is a powerful dude, man. Like, he's a strong guy. So if that guy – and just so you know, like, even Brundage's corner knew, and they said, get your head out of there. Because they knew that if he stayed there and he took those elbows, it was going to be bad news, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, man. Daniel Cormier is getting very comfortable on that desk because he sounded like he got mad at the guys in the booth because he asked for the replay back, and they were showing something else, and he was like, "So I guess we're not going to see the replay."
Yeah, I mean, Daniel Cormier, dude, he carries a lot of weight in the UFC.
He knows it.
Yeah, he knows it, and he should, as well. He should, man. He's a very popular fighter and commentator. Very, very nice guy, and I mean, if he wants to call somebody out, he can.
It was funny, man. It was funny. He didn't do it like in a mean way. It wasn't like the guy. He was like, "Oh, okay, we're not going to see that." His partner was like, "They're going to bring it back. They're going to bring it back."
Hey, but you saw too that he said that he's doing this one and he's doing Saturdays because he's going to be off for a while when he has I think his next child.
Oh, okay. I was thinking because of the eye, but yeah, okay.
No, he's having his wife is pregnant. They're having their next child in like 3 weeks or something. So
Awesome,
he's trying to get as many commentating jobs as possible between them because he's going to be off for a while, he said. And and he was thanking like Dominic Cruz and Felder for allowing him to do that because they had to step aside to let him do the Contender Series.
Well, yeah, because Felder's been doing every single one lately, like killing it.
Yeah, he's been doing a great job.
I love Felder. Next up, bantamweight, Ronnie Lawrence versus Jose Johnson.
Did you see this one?
Take it away. I did not. These are the ones I did not see. So take it away.
So this one, man, all the hype was on Jose Johnson. He has this crazy knockout in the I think the LFA or something, in like a regional scene that he knocked the dude out just the same way that Knight knocked out Brundage with those elbows, and the guy started convulsing on the ground, and it was real scary, real ugly knockout. So the hype was on Johnson. Johnson is fast, all elbows and knees, tall, strong, great striker, and he was a favorite. And Ronnie Lawrence dominated this guy.
Nice.
I think he was going for the record. He definitely got the record for Dana White Contender Series of most takedowns. I think he had 10 takedowns. The record is 13, I believe, in the UFC for one fight or for one 3-round fight, and he almost got it. But he just dominated him, dude. Kept taking him down. When it was on his feet, he was throwing spinning stuff. He was kicking his leg, messing his leg. I think he hit him with his leg one time, and he took him all the way down. Like, that's how hard he was hitting him. He just dominated him. After the fight, when he got the contract, Dana White said that he thinks that this kid is special. Like, this kid is special. He was supposed to lose. Not supposed to lose, but he was fighting the tough guy. Like, look at the guy he was fighting. The guy's a monster. He's, and this guy dominated him. He put on such a great performance. He expects big things. He goes, and it's not just that I expect it, it's that he expects more than I expect out of him. Like he's going to be a great one. So definitely Ronnie Lawrence, one to look out for, one to watch out for. He's a beast, man. He's a beast.
Yeah, man. Another great addition to the already stacked bantamweight division, man. This is the reason we named it our favorite of division of the year so far.
Yep, bantamweight 2020, man, because that's such a great division right now.
It's so funny how like it literally like nothing really changes. It's just fights happening, and so because like last year, what we said, welterweight, lightweight was like kind of what was moving. And this year it's bantamweight and featherweight.
That's right, man.
Like of all divisions, bantamweight and featherweight. So very cool how you.
We'll take it.
Hell yeah! All right, next up, flyweight division: Jimmy Flick versus Nate Smith, the last of the contract getters. Jimmy Flick.
So this fight was also a good fight. I don't know, man. Jimmy Flick kind of rubbed me the wrong way. He's a talented grappler, and he was putting Nate Smith, who's not a talented grappler, in all sorts of trouble and potential submissions and, transitioning from one submission to another. He had him in a nasty armbar, dude. Like one of those armbars where you said that was a quick tap, but he didn't tap. And he got out of it, and his arm was bent the wrong way, and he still got out of it. Dude. He got out of
be double jointed.
Dude, he got out of so many submission attempts, man. So many submission attempts. And credit to him because, again, he's not the greatest grappler. He's a good wrestler, but not the greatest grappler. He's not the greatest striker. So he was kind of outgunned both on his feet and on the ground. And he lasted to the third round, 3 minutes and 15 seconds into the third round. And Jimmy Flick, you could have sworn he won the Super Bowl or something, man. Talking all this mess, saying all this stuff. I don't know. He just rubbed me the wrong way, man. He just rubbed me the wrong way. He gets the contract. We'll see him in the UFC. Dana White liked him. He said, I've never seen so many submissions. And that's the thing too. Like, it wasn't boring because he was going for all these submission attempts, but he wasn't getting them. He only got him in the third round because Smith was so tired. And I think Dana White invited Smith too because he said he's only 25. He's only been training for like 3 or 4 years or something like that. So I think he invited him back too in November because he wants to see more of him. Just a bad matchup for him, I guess. Yeah. But yeah, Jimmy Flick rubbed me the wrong way. He gets the contract. We're going to see more of him. Hopefully he gets some earlier submissions to get some tougher dudes. And then you can holler and jump up and talk all your smack like you won the championship or something.
Okay, so warning. I mean, like a little off the side. I didn't watch this, so I can't comment completely. But from what you've told me, that would have rubbed me the wrong way too. That's not the place for that. Like, in terms of like the talking smack and the yelling and like you can yell, but the jumping around like that's not the place for that, especially against a tough guy. You usually went 3 rounds with him, and you got to finish. And I was gonna say that same thing too. Like Nate Smith, that's it. All the submissions that you're telling me he got out of. That's impressive.
Dude, he got out of a lot, dude.
That's impressive. That makes me want to call you back and not only call you back for a contender series, but maybe call you back for a late replacement, because that's not easy to do. I mean, there's so many people, we've seen so many fighters that their downfall is submissions because they can't get out of them or something. So that sounds great. I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna go back and rewatch these. I usually go back and rewatch. Mm-hmm. So, but all right, man. We'll see. Maybe Jimmy Flick, he's either gonna get his comeuppance or he's gonna earn that trash talk. Because you already know how I feel about the trash talk, man. If you can back it up, I'm all about it.
Yeah, I agree. I just think that I don't know.
That's the place.
This one wasn't the place. Like, this one wasn't. I don't know. You got a lot of.
Didn't dominate.
Yeah, like you got a lot of submission attempts, but you got one when he was super tired against a guy that's not the greatest grappler. Okay.
Yeah. It's not like you were putting on a submission clinic in terms of like, oh, watch, I can put him in this one. Oh, but then I can switch into this. And it was like you were failing.
Yeah, no, like I would have been more of a fan of him if he would have come up and said, I had a lot of attempts, but I got to do better. I got to go back and look at the tape. I should have gotten him in a couple of them. I'm going to do better for next time. Okay, boom, perfect. This guy knows what's up. He's self-aware, but no, this guy, I don't know. We'll see. And we'll see what happens in his
my last question was the trash talk before he got the contract or after?
It was before. It was right after he won. Like he looked down at him, like he was talking mess to him when he was on the ground. Come on, man. And then he goes over and he's yelling and he goes and talks to Dana White and he tells him, like, he points at him or something, like, I told you I was going to do that or something, like. And I think I don't know. I got to go back and watch, but I think he got on top of the cage too, which is stupid. I don't know.
If I was Dana, I would have been like, wait, you called a 3rd round submission? Like, most people when they call their results, they're like, I'm gonna finish them in the 1st round. You're saying that you planned that? Like, okay. Yeah. You planned him to escape all your submissions? Cool. All right. You want to talk about the last one, featherweight division?
Yes, featherweight division. This was a great fight. Both guys were 4-1 coming into this. Both guys have different stories. Melsik Bagdasaryan, which again is one of these guys. I don't know. I think it's like Romania. He has the Khabib beard with no mustache, so those guys are good. But this guy's interesting because he's actually not a wrestler; he's a kickboxer. And then he's 29 years old. Bagdasaryan is 29 years old. He made his MMA debut 4 years ago. He lost. He took 4 years off, and then he's been steamrolling the last 4 fights that he had when he came back, which caught the attention of Dana White. Okay. And then you got Dennis Bazukja, who's 22 years old, so 7-year age difference, also 4-1. Fights out of Aljamain Sterling's camp, and then I think Matt Serra's camp. And Aljamain Sterling was in his corner. And this is the guy, Bagdasaryan, dude, who hits like a Mack truck, man. The 1st round, he comes out, kicks, like he's landing kicks to the stomach, and it's just, you can hear it, dude. You can hear it. You can see it in his face. I mean, Cormier's talking about he's wincing at everything he throws. Every punch that wasn't even landing like flush was hurting him. And I thought this fight was going to be over in the 1st round, dude. I really did. But they had a plan. And sure enough, he got tired. And then the 2nd round, he just back and it starts piecing him up a little bit, wrestling him, putting him up in bad positions, getting his back. And it looked like he was going to go on to a decision victory by out wrestling him and just outlasting him. But he messed up. He should have taken advantage of the 2nd round. He didn't. Bagdasaryan gets his 2nd win. He got his adrenaline dump off. He comes back. He's throwing those heavy kicks again. He starts landing more. Bazukja is tired because he's been taking punishment. He's still throwing, but not as hard. He's still trying to wrestle, but not as good. And he just ends up losing the 3rd round. So he ends up losing 2 rounds to 1. Bagdasaryan doesn't get the contract, and Dana invites him back in November, He said he feels that he needed this fight so that he knows what type of competition is in the UFC, that they're not just gonna fold every time they get hit, and for him to go back to the drawing board and put on a better performance. Basically saying you need to knock somebody out to get into the UFC.
All right, man. Well, we hear it all the time. When in the Dana White Contender Series, you gotta do what you gotta do. Sorry, dude. We're gonna jump into some fight announcements, man. We've had a lot of fight announcements lately. A very small one that I want to bring up that I can come up with at the top of my head. You can go ahead and take it away after that, and we'll piggyback off of that. So the first one that I remember saying, and I sent it to you, and this fight is for the plot. We're gonna be watching this fight for the plot. It is Bia Malecki versus Tracy Cortez. The thing is, this is a very I made the joke, but this is going to be a collision of styles. We're going to have the straight up wrestler with Tracy Cortez going up against the kickboxer in Bia Malecki. And also, Bia Malecki is way bigger than everyone she fights. Like, she's just a taller, longer person. We saw what she did against Veronica Macedo, because she didn't really dominate Veronica Macedo. It's just Veronica couldn't get to her. So I'm very interested to see what Tracy can do. Can Tracy get in there and close the distance and take her down? Because if Tracy can get her to the ground, I don't see much happening from Bia Malecki. But I think Tracy Cortez is going to be one of the top women in this division. She's so good in terms of her ground game. Haven't seen much of her stand-up game though, so this is going to be a big test, I think, against a longer opponent.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Tracy Cortez hasn't fought in a while.
Yeah, she's out for a while.
She's been out for a while, so this is good to kind of see her get back in there. But you're right, man. It's a clash of styles, wrestler versus striker. Usually in those fights, the wrestler wins. Tracy Cortez, I mean, we've seen, her story. We've heard her story. We've also seen her fight and how she fights and how she fights through adversity. So it's going to take a lot to beat her, man. So I don't know. I think it's a good fight.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good fight too. It's going to be on a prelim card, but it's going to be one of those prelim cards where you're just like, this is a fun fight. All right, so I'm going through real quick to find some more. Give me a second, man. Work with me here. Work with me. All right, Covington versus Woodley. Another big one. This is Woodley's test. Are you the Woodley of old, or are we in a new dawn? Are we in a new age of Woodley not being a top fighter anymore?
I feel
this is not the fighter you want to be doing this against either. No, Covington's not the guy you want to do that against.
Well, dude, honestly, they're kind of mirror images of themselves. The only difference is Woodley has more power than Covington, but they're both strong wrestlers that use their wrestling to keep the fight standing for their striking. And again, the difference being the power. Woodley does it to try to knock you out because he's so fast and powerful. Covington does it to piece you up and get the volume of punches in to eventually knock you out with volume punching. But Covington is the younger man. I think he's a younger man by like 4 years maybe. And he's also the fresher fighter on the rise versus Woodley being on the down side of his career, on the back nine of his career.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I don't think that this is a good fight for Woodley right now, in my opinion. Hopefully that the MAGA stuff that Covington's character plays up is going to motivate Woodley to have that fire in his belly again and try and get a knockout, because again, Woodley hasn't been the same since he fought Usman. He fought Usman. He was a different guy. The next fight against Darren Till, he was not against Darren Till. Who did he fight after Usman? He fought Woodley.
Woodley fought after Usman. He fought Burns.
Yeah. He wasn't the same against Burns. Burns kind of dictated that fight and kind of was a dominant fighter there. So we'll see, man. But I just don't think it's a good fight for him right now.
Yeah, man. I'm worried, dude. I don't want to see Woodley go out like this. But Covington's one of those guys you don't want to go in, I guess, doubting yourself. You're gonna have a hard time because this dude does not doubt himself at all. Like he's gonna go in there. He's gonna execute his game plan no matter what. So I don't know, man. I'm worried about this one.
I am too, man.
The other fight on that card, worth mentioning a little bit, is Mackenzie Dern making her return against Random Marcos. We'll see if Mackenzie Dern can start a winning streak. She's on a 1-fight winning streak, so maybe see if she can get it to 2. Random Marcos is looking for a win. Random Marcos coming off of a couple losses there, so we'll see what happens there. That's going to be a tough one too, because it's kind of a clash of styles as well. Random Marcos wants to strike against you for 3 rounds and take it to the decision, whereas Mackenzie wants to get you to the ground and finish you. So we'll see how that goes too. Yep. Looking at some more, see if I've missed any. I know there's a few, so I'm just trying to go through the events as we get to it. While I'm doing that, I will say we are very, very close to getting Andres Ace Cabrera back onto the arm bars and suplexes for Adesanya versus Costa, which is going to be a great fight card. Unfortunately, Claudia Gadelha did pull out of that fight because I think she is hurt. She injured herself, so she is pulling out of that fight. They haven't announced a replacement or if they're going to just scratch the fight altogether. Kind of in the vein of Ankalev versus what's his name, Kudaloba.
Oh yeah,
because it just seems like we'll never get that second fight. But wow, there's really not much. I'm looking at them. I could have sworn there was like a lot more fight announcements. Why am I missing it?
Yeah. Let me look them up too real quick because I think I liked one. I might have sent it to you. I'm not sure. That had all of them that are agreed to or not agreed to, but one of them that they've been talking about recently is your boy Jorge Masvidal.
Oh yes, let's go on that. Go ahead.
Taking on your other boy Nate Diaz in a rematch.
Sorry. Before we jump into that, the one that I can't think of off the top of my head. Brian Ortega and Korean Zombie did sign. I believe they signed for a main event. Yeah. So just to get on that one, I don't think because that one hasn't been posted on their website yet.
Oh, okay.
So they haven't. I guess maybe the ink's not dry yet, but they have signed. That is a big time grudge match. These guys have been going at it for the better part of a year now. So because they were supposed to fight in Korea, but Brian Ortega had to pull out. Frankie Edgar stepped in, got submitted, if I'm not mistaken, right? By Korean Zombie.
Did he get submitted or did he get beat? Did he get knocked out? I don't remember.
I don't know, one of those two. But yeah, so this is the fight everyone's been waiting for, man. These two guys have been talking.
All right, which ones do you want to
Brian Ortega slapped the shit out of Korean Zombie's translators.
Oh yeah.
But let's jump into Masvidal versus Diaz, dude. The fight that apparently MMA Twitter does not want, but we all know damn well they're already buying that damn pay-per-view.
Man, I don't know, man. This is
we're buying that pay-per-view, and you know it.
The saddest man in the I mean, this is gonna end the same way, dude. This is gonna end the same way. He was outclassed. It won't end
in the third. Like
he was outclassed in that first fight. Everybody saw it. This is a money grab. This is it's just to play money grab, man. And again, I told you Masvidal's been around for a long time. He's more than open to do this to use the fame that he's got right now, the juice that he has right now to get as much money as he can. But it's a bad look, man. He needed to fight Leon Edwards. Leon Edwards was out there sitting there waiting, wanting. You pieced him up with the 3-piece and a soda, and you couldn't get him in the cage. It just showed. It just looks bad. It looks bad in that sense. I'm happy for him to get money because he's going to get over $1 million again for this fight with Diaz because it's going to sell, like you said, to the casuals, the filthy casuals. But it just no, man. It just sucks. It just sucks from a fight perspective where I think the better fight. You already fought this guy. You outclassed him. There's no need to go back there except for money. Challenge yourself against Leon Edwards, and a fight that I think Masvidal would probably win. I mean, it would be close. He has way more power. He's probably faster than Leon Edwards. Leon Edwards is just long, durable, smart. So it'd be a great fight. In other words, but we're not going to see that fight, and we're probably never going to get to see that fight at this point.
Yep. And how many times have I said this is the problem with the UFC? It's all about the money. And because Masvidal of old doesn't turn down a fight against anybody.
But that's because he was trying to.
Masvidal.
Yeah.
This is money Masvidal now. This is superstar Masvidal. Like, yeah, we got to keep that in mind. Like, his fight against Usman did it tie the record or broke the record of?
Tied it.
It tied the record of Khabib and McGregor. That's huge, man. Like, that's gigantic. So, and like I even told you, like there's no denying it anymore. Dana can't deny anymore of who is the seller because the sales didn't go up until Burns had to get out, had to step out. He had to drop out. Masvidal steps in, and it becomes one of the highest grossing pay-per-views of all time. So, unfortunately, that's where we're at. Not unfortunately, but like that's where we're at now. And I mean, just unfortunately, Leon Edwards doesn't pull in the same kind of money that Nate Diaz does. It's just the reality of the situation. It sucks. It sucks because, nothing else you can do about it. But unfortunately, Leon Edwards doesn't pull that kind of money yet. Maybe he until then, we just have to kind of deal.
Yep.
But I mean, I'm still gonna watch the fight, and Masvidal's still gonna win. Leon Edwards is gonna be left. And at some point, you tell Leon you got to cut your losses. Like, you're not getting the fight.
Man, if I'm Leon Edwards, I'm gonna be in the stands on that fight. I don't care if it's still at Apex with no crowd, and I'm going in the octagon after.
He's gonna get fined.
I don't care, man.
He's gonna get fined by the state of Nevada.
Hey, I found what I was looking for, man, real quick. Here's some other fights. So Dos Anjos does have a fight lined up in October against Islam Makhachev.
Oh, that's a big fight, yeah.
Yeah, so he has that fight. On the Costa fight, on the Paulo Costa Adesanya fight, we have Dominic Reyes and Blachowicz, but we also have Kia Kara France versus Brandon Royval. Brandon Royval,
yes.
So that's on that fight.
Big time fight.
That we want to see. Yep. Donna Cerrone.
Flyweight, right?
Yep. 125, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Could be the next contender.
Yeah, Royval is good, dude. We definitely want to see him fight. Your boy Miguel Baez is fighting Mickey Gall.
Oh yeah. Baez is knocking him out.
Yeah, on the Covington Woodley fight. Let me see who else.
Is it?
Yeah.
Burns and Usman are about to sign too.
Yeah, they're signing.
Then that's the thing. That was the big contention of when the Diaz and Masvidal fight was going to happen, was because they're trying to line up Usman versus Burns for December.
Yeah.
And there's no way, and I agree, there's no way Masvidal and Diaz don't headline. So
headline.
So they're kind of getting it ready to be the Conor versus Cerrone of 2021. Kind of open the year with this big pay-per-view, Diaz versus Masvidal, which I think would be cool, man. It's a good way to start the fight off. Maybe be the year of Masvidal again.
Yep. So on the Davidson Figueiredo, Cody Garbrandt undercard, you have Shevchenko, Maia. But you also have Brandon Moreno versus Alex Perez in a huge fight. That's probably going to be the next.
That's the number one contenders.
That number one contender fight right there.
Yeah, that's
a big fight. So I'm telling you, man, the end of this year, like obviously the beginning of this year, we had some fights, and then we got the whole stoppage, and then we've just kind of been piecing stuff together. But the end of this year looks really good, man. From a moving contenders up to seeing who's going to be challenging in the near future.
Yeah, man. I'm excited. This is going to be a great end of the year for sure. For sure. All right, man. That's the end of the day, the end of the podcast, end of the show. We will be back next week to talk Overeem versus Sakai. That full fight card, including the Dana White Contender Series, I will make sure that I watch. And we'll be taking off right after that. But some news before we head out. First news that I wanna announce, kind of semi-announce, as I mentioned earlier, Andres Ace Cabrera should be here for September 28th, which would be that Monday. That's what we're aiming for. The Monday after Adesanya versus Costa. That is the best time for Andres to record and to stream with us. And if we get him on, that'd be great. I think we had a great conversation between us three. It was a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to that. If it's done, we should have it locked down by next week. I will be able to confirm by next week. Second that I want to announce, it's not a big thing, not a big event happening, but next week, starting September 6th, is Suicide Prevention Awareness Week. And my friend Angel, he's been around the stream a few times. Mm-hmm. He would like to come on, and he's gonna be on for a little bit on Sunday. Me and him are gonna record, and we're just gonna talk about his experience with depression, suicide, and all that stuff, man. And I think, and he actually is gonna get me in contact with another woman who would like to tell her story.
Awesome, man.
So it's gonna probably be 3 streams. So we'll have the one with me and Angel, me and you doing Overeem versus Sakai, and then another one with one of Angel's friends who wants to tell her story of her dealing with depression, because I believe that is a topic that needs to be talked about more often, especially amongst men. Mm-hmm. Men need to learn how to speak out about this. I'll be giving my story of dealing with depression, and we'll just kind of get the word out and spread awareness. That's what I want that week to be about. And if you would like to come on, or if you would know anyone who would like to come on and tell their story, more than welcome to do that.
Awesome, man.
And then last but not least, before we get to the last part, you can find me on Twitter at AlecMiller0423. Hit me up there anytime you want to talk, or talk life, sports, movies, whatever you want to talk about. And Jesus, let them know where they can find you, man.
You find me, at The Real Jesus, and that's spelled JEEZUS. You talk about whatever you want to talk about, man. There's a lot of stuff going on in this world right now. But just know that it too shall pass. And you have people that you can talk to, like you mentioned. You can come talk to us, talk to other people that have gone through your situation or what have you. But we're there for you, man. We're there for everybody. Please reach out. Come talk to us about MMA, NBA, NFL coming up, MLB about to take off the last. I think there's only like 20 something games left in MLB. So, yeah, man, we're here for you guys.
Yeah. Don't tell me James Harden doesn't play defense. All right. On a more serious note, I want to end the show on this. Our thoughts and prayers are out to the family of Jacob Blake. He was the man who was shot multiple times by police officers in Wisconsin. He is paralyzed, if I'm not mistaken. That is the latest development, is that he's paralyzed from the waist down. He was shot in front of his children, breaking up a fight. And I just want to send our prayers out to him and send our prayers out to this country, man. This country is going through a lot right now. We're having conversations that need to be had. And don't be afraid to have those conversations, but also don't be afraid to cut negativity out of your life. I've had to do that a couple of times this past couple of weeks, cutting out negativity in my life. If you're not willing to have a productive conversation about this, then I don't want you around, and I think you should do it too. But the number one focus should be on the family of Jacob Blake and his recovery. I'm not sure if it's a permanent paralyzed, if he's paralyzed permanently. Maybe you can tell me, Jesus, but I pray for a recovery for him, his family, his kids who had to see a traumatic event happen. And also, guys, when something like this happens and the first thing you say is, what was said person's criminal record about, I think that says more about you, and you need to take a look at yourself in the mirror and maybe make some changes in your life, because that's not the way you should think about it when you hear about someone being shot. The first thing you say shouldn't be, what is their criminal record like? The first thing you should say is, that is unfortunate, and I pray for their recovery.
Yeah, man.
This isn't a political, to me, in my eyes, this isn't a political matter. Nope. This is a human rights matter, and Jacob Blake had his human rights. He had his human rights. What am I trying to say?
Violated.
Violated. Thank you. Yeah, he has human rights violated, and that's all I want to say on that.
Yeah, I mean, you hit the nail on the head, man. The only thing I'll add is what his sister said. His sister said she's not mad. She doesn't want our pity. She wants change, and that's what needs to happen, man. This needs to change.
Absolutely. And change starts with you. You have to look at yourself and be the change. The way I'm making a change is I'm making sure that my son doesn't have said negative points in his life. Mm-hmm. He doesn't have negative voices in his life. I've had to actually kind of cut very close people in my life out because that's just not something I want in my life. And because I personally believe the change comes from the next generation. Yeah. And I have to make sure that my son understands that as a half. He is mixed, but he's going to be seen as white first, and has to understand that comes with a certain responsibility that you have to, speak out. And that's why I'm doing this, and that's why I speak out on my Facebook, on my Twitter, because it's a responsibility I've taken on. And next up is making change in our legal system, in our justice system.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
So we're getting on that. Thank you guys for joining us. We love bringing you this every week. Make sure that you go to our Twitter and follow us. Make sure that you go to the Patreon if you wish to support us. It's patreon.com/armbars and suplexes. The link is in the description below. And we are audio now, guys. We are on Spotify. So if you can go over there, follow the podcast and listen over there, share the podcast around with your friends who may enjoy MMA and like to hear two fans talking about it. It's not two analysts. We're not breaking down numbers. We're here to talk about things that we love, and that's what makes this podcast the most fun.
Yep.
So the Spotify link is also in the description below. Thank you guys for the support, and we're looking forward to next week. Please, if you can, join us for next week. And if you wish to speak out, please reach out and speak out, and I will work to have you on and maybe tell your story. That's what next week's going to be about. It's not going to be about who is a name or anything. It's about, do you want to tell your story? If you want to tell your story, that's honorable, and I want to hear it. So hit me up, please. For the ANS podcast, I'm Alec. That's Jesus. We'll see you guys next week.
AMF.